Hi, I'm Carrie Michael, and this is a yin yoga practice for grief and loss. This is part of our pandemic survival series, and certainly all of us are grieving something during the course of this pandemic. You know, grief can be experienced after any kind of a significant loss. It can certainly be the loss of a loved one, but it can also be the loss of one's health, the loss of, we have our freedom restricted in certain ways, the loss of being able to connect with loved ones, to be able to give and receive hugs the way we did before, to be able to enjoy travel and some of the other pastimes that we enjoyed before. Our children, we're grieving for what they're going through. We're grieving for what our parents and grandparents are going through. It's a lot. And so this practice is a yin practice designed to help release some of the emotion, to notice and allow breath, and to allow that energy to move through the connective tissue of the joints where we hold so much emotional energy, and just, to allow what comes up. So as you do this practice, please allow whatever comes up. Notice it, honor it. All of it, no matter what it is correct and right and appropriate and real. So let this practice bring up whatever it brings up, and let it soothe you. We're going to do some breathing practices. We're going to start with a very soothing 3-part breath, creating more room for breath and allowing us to practice deepening our breath. We're going to do, lots of people experience grief and heaviness in the lungs and in the heart, and so this practice is designed to open those areas, allow the flow of breath and energy to move through those places more freely. This practice was designed to do without props. However, if you enjoy a prop, if you like having pillows or blankets, bolsters, I certainly invite you to use anything that will make this practice more comfortable and enjoyable for you. For those who have not done a yin yoga practice, yin is a more passive type of yoga. It involves holding fewer poses, but holding them for longer periods of time. And it's less about muscle engagement, stretch and strength, and it's more about getting into the connective tissue of the joints, allowing those joints to putting healthy stress on those joints and allowing them to be very healthy and let energy move through them. So just go at your own pace, and know that stillness and silence are available to you anytime. So with that, I invite you to lie on your back. I'm going to come down to my back. We don't usually start a yoga practice in our Shavasana, but we are going to start that way today, just to allow ourselves to settle into the mat. So lie on your back. Let yourself be comfortable. Let your ankles drop open. Just allow your back body to release. Your eyes can be open, or you can let them float closed. And just allow yourself to arrive on your mat. Notice all the places where your body makes contact with the mat. Feel yourself grounding into those spaces, rooting into those spaces. And then just start to notice your breath. No need to manipulate it, no need to change the breath in any way. Right now, we're just observing. And then on your next inhale, just place your right hand on your belly and place the left hand in your heart space. I know your heart is to the left, but place your hand in the center of your chest. That's sort of your heart space. And then continue to breathe normally. Just taking a couple of breaths to notice the rise and fall of the hand on your belly. Your left hand may not be moving all that much right now. And we're going to start to move into Dirga Pranayama, or three-part breath. And so what that involves is you're just taking the inhale and you are experiencing it in three different parts. So you'll inhale first through the belly and then through the sort of the diaphragm, the center of the front body, and then the third part is the chest up to the collarbone. And then we're going to just gently release it. So just do what I do. So on the inhale, breathe into your belly. Feel the right hand lifting. Feel your belly expand, fill with air. And hold there. Then continue the inhale through the diaphragm, the middle of the front body, and hold. And then continue the inhale from the rib cage up to the collarbone. It's a three-part breath. And let it go. Again, inhale into the belly. Inhale into the diaphragm. And then inhale up to the collarbone. Filled with air, and then release. Again, inhale into the belly. And then inhale into the diaphragm. Inhale up to the collarbone. And release. And continue this breath just on your own tempo, your own breath. Breathing in through your nose. And then out through your nose. Feeling every part of your front body expand. Feeling your lungs fill with air. Your rib cage separates. And then let it go. Feel everything contract. And continue. Allowing whatever comes up to come up. Just 2 more full rounds of Dirga Pranayama. Inhale through your belly, through your diaphragm, up to your collarbone, and let it go. And when you let it go, for a moment, just let your arms come by your sides. Let your breath come back to normal. Release your 3-part breath and just allow yourself to notice. Notice and allow. And then on an inhale, bring your palms together in a prayer pose in front of your heart space and just start to rub your palms together. So rubbing the palms, creating friction between the palms, creating warmth. And then when you've got your palms nice and warm, just place your right hand over your heart space and then your left hand over your right hand. And just take a moment to feel the warmth that friction generated in your palms. Nice full inhales and exhales here. And as you breathe, bring your attention gently to your heart space. Nice full inhales, nice full exhales. And as you breathe, imagine your breath, that you're breathing into your heart. That the breath is going all the way through the heart on the inhale and on the exhale. Imagine that breath coming through your heart, warming your heart. Inhale. And then exhale to release that heart-centered breath, bringing your palms back together and again rubbing them, making the palms nice and warm. And then when the palms feel warm, just take your palms and place them over your eyes. Just very gently resting them on your eyes and allow the warmth and the weight of your palms to bring comfort to that space. Inhale and exhale. Release your palms. And we will start doing some poses that we're going to hold for a little bit. So bring the bottoms of your feet together into a butterfly pose. Now, depending on how your legs feel, your heels might be away from your seat, or if you'd like a little more sensation in sort of the hip and inner thigh, you can bring your heels closer to your body. And then the upper body looks like this. Your arms are going to come back behind you. And just catch opposite elbows. So your chest is nice and open. Just make any minor adjustments that you need to. Again, you're looking for sensation, but you're not necessarily looking for intensity or stretch. Just a little bit of sensation and a nice open heart, open through the chest, lungs filling with breath. Inhale deeply. And then exhale. And then just allow your breath to be comfortable. If you want, you can come into your ujjayi breath or ocean breath. If you've never done this breath technique before, it's an inhale through the nose and then an exhale through the nose with the back of the throat slightly closed, so it sounds like the ocean. And you can practice that way if you find that soothing. And if not, just a regular breath is fine. Just notice and allow any sensations or emotions that come up for you. And stay with your breath. Your breath is always here for you. Final seconds here. Just take a couple of nice deep breaths. And we'll prepare to transition. Inhale. And then exhale. Release your elbows. Bring your feet to your mat. Take your feet about mat distance apart. And just let your knees come in to touch each other. Just relax. And notice your breath. Again, not taking the need to alter anything, just allow what happens. Inhale And then exhale. We're going to come into our banana asana, banana pose. So extend your legs along the length of your mat, and you'll extend your arms behind you. So stretching out in opposite directions. And what I want you to do here is think about creating distance between sort of your shoulder blades and shoulders and your hips. So while you're in this position, just think about kind of walking your shoulders up and letting your hips settle. You're just creating length through here, and you're really creating lots of space for breath. Stretching in opposite directions, kind of like a first thing in the morning, big bed stretch. Inhale, and then exhale to release. Walk both of your ankles over to the right corner of your mat. You're keeping your hips where they are. And once you get there, cross your right ankle over your left. Normally when we do this pose, you're going to cross your left ankle over your right, but it feels a bit more grounding, crossing your right ankle over your left. Of course, if you prefer it the other way, I certainly invite you to do that and make yourself happy. Then walk both of your wrists over to the right corner of the top of your mat. Grab your left wrist with your right hand and just give a gentle stretch. So you're allowing lots of space to open up here in the left side body. Inhale. Inhale deeply into the lungs. Feel the left side body filling with air. And then let it go. And then just let your breath come either back to sort of your normal breath, or you can take that ujjayi breath, your ocean breath. Couple more full breaths here. Inhale. And then exhale. Bring the wrists and the ankles back to center. And just give a nice long stretch before we switch sides. Again, creating lots of length through the torso. So just, creating all the length you can. Inhale here, and then exhale. Bring your ankles to the left side body. Again, if you want more grounding, you can place your left ankle on top of your right. And if you want more stretch through the side body, then you'll do the opposite. Your right ankle will be on top. But I'm feeling like I'd like to be a bit more grounded. Then take the left hand, place it, grab the right wrist and bring both wrists over to the left corner. So now you're breathing into the right side body. Inhale deeply and then exhale. And then just come back to your breath. Of course, you're breathing into both your lungs, but really imagine that your right lung especially is expanding, filling with air. And then let it go. Start to deepen your breath. And on your exhale, just come on back to the center. And then on an inhale, just bring your knees up to your chest. Just hug them in gently, rock from side to side. Inhale, and then exhale, slowly roll to one side and carefully press yourself up through a seated position, and we're going to come into a tabletop position. So just come into all fours, and we'll do a couple of cat and cow stretches here just to kind of reset. So with your knees directly beneath your hips and your wrists directly underneath your shoulders, inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, tilt the pelvis up and look up. And then exhale, round the spine, tuck the pelvis in. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, look up. And then exhale to round the spine. Just a couple more rounds just like that, just to bring a little flexibility into the spine before we move on and hold our next pose. Exhale to cat. And then inhale, come on back to neutral. From here, we are going to do a shoulder stretch, and it's a pose called rolling panda, and you'll see why. in just a couple minutes. So what we're going to do is, again, starting from your tabletop position, inhale and sweep your left hand up, and then exhale, sweep it through and thread it underneath the right arm. Bring your head down. Just let your head rest here. And you can stay here with your legs in still in tabletop. Or you can inhale and then exhale and bring the right foot out. And when you bring the right foot out, you can take your right hand and bring it out and hold it kind of, in front and to the side. And you'll see I look like I'm about to roll over like a big panda bear. And just start to come back into your breathing here. Of course, if you don't want your arm and leg out, you certainly have the option of staying here in a threading the needle posture in tabletop. So whichever version of the pose you like best, inhale here and exhale. Two more nice deep breaths here. Inhale and exhale. On an inhale, carefully press back up to center. And we'll do just a couple of cat and cow stretches in between. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, look up. And exhale, tuck the pelvis, round the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, back to cow. And exhale to cat. Good. We'll go ahead and do the other side now. So again, establishing neutral spine in your tabletop position. Inhale, sweep the right arm up this time. And then exhale, thread it underneath the left arm. Come down onto the right shoulder. Let your head rest on the mat. And you can stay in this position, or you can come into the rolling panda variation, taking your leg out, your left leg out, and taking your left arm out, planting your palm into the earth, and just breathe here. Two more deep breaths here. And then on an inhale, take your left hand and press up, bring your left leg in, coming back into your tabletop pose. Inhale here, and then bring the big toes together, take your knees out wide, exhale, and come down into child's pose. Just allow your head to come to rest on the mat. Just breathe here. Notice, allow. Final seconds here. Inhale deeply and exhale. Inhale, press on back to your tabletop pose. And from here, we're going to move into melting heart pose. So in order to get into that, you're going to start in a tabletop position. Inhale and drop the belly like you're kind of like you're going into cow pose here. So it's a little bit of a drop of the belly and a lift of the chest. But then instead of pressing back into cat, from here, start to walk your hands forward. So your hands are going to come forward. You can come onto your forearms if that feels better to you, or you can hold them out straight. You're going to feel some sensation under the arms. And come on down. And your head can come down to rest, but your back is still, being held so kind of like in your cow pose. So your chest is melting down towards the mat. Inhale deeply here and exhale. And come back to your breath. Allowing your heart to melt more and more into the mat. Allow release. Final seconds here. Inhale deeply and exhale. And on your next inhale, very, very slowly and carefully, come on out of this posture. Come back to tabletop. Take just a couple of cat and cows. Again, just to bring some flexion back into the spine. Inhale and then exhale. Again, bring your big toes together, knees out wide. We won't hold it long this time, but just come back into child's pose. This time, bring the arms back. Kind of like parentheses around your legs. And just take a couple of breaths here. And then inhale, come on up. Come on down to your belly into Sphinx. Your elbows will be directly underneath your shoulders. And bring your attention to the space between your shoulder blades. You won't be arching that space, but just give it a little bit of lift between the shoulder blades. Really, we're just trying to keep you from collapsing into your shoulder blades. So just a little bit of lift here. Pressing strongly into the mat. And then just shake your head no. And nod your head yes. Good. And then plant the palms directly beneath the shoulders. Press back up and we'll come around to a seated position. From here, go ahead and just straddle your legs out. So it's not a super intense straddle. And we're going to walk our hands forward, but it's not a contest to see how far down you can go. It's really just until you feel sensation, and then it's okay to go ahead and stop. So just let yourself be grounded. Inhale, sit up nice and tall, grounding through the sit bones. And then exhale, just walk the hands forward. Again, stop when you feel sensation. There's no need to go to your edge or anywhere near it. Just feel a little release in the back of the hips, back of the legs. Inhale and exhale. Just allow your head to rest. Allow your hands to ground themselves into the mat. Feel the palms of your hands and your fingertips ground into the earth. Again, just taking a moment here to notice all the places where your body is making contact with the mat. Grounded in this moment, present in this moment. Again, allowing your Ujjayi breath to soothe and support you. Final seconds here. Deep inhale and let it go. And just walk yourself back up and come around to your back. So lying on your back, just take your feet about mat distance apart. Bring your arms out to the sides and just windshield wiper your knees to the right and then the left, and then the right and the left, just alternating back and forth. Good. And then on your next inhale, bring the knees into the chest. Hug them into the chest. Just roll back and forth, rolling out your back, massaging your spine. And then come on back to stillness. Bring your arms out to a T. Inhale here. And then exhale. Just bring both knees out to the right this time. And you can you can turn your head any way in which it feels comfortable, or you can leave your gaze facing towards the ceiling. Gentle spinal twist here. Inhale and exhale. Nice full breaths here. Just notice and allow. Final seconds here. Just start to deepen your breath. And then on an inhale, gently come back to center. And exhale, take the knees out to the left this time. Again, your head can be facing any way it's comfortable. You can gaze out to the right or just leave your gaze toward the ceiling. Final seconds here. Just take a nice deep inhale and let it go. Inhale back to center and just hug your knees one more time into your chest. Maybe rock from side to side. And then release the feet to the mat and bring your legs extended along the length of the mat. Just let your feet and ankles drop open. Allow your shoulder blades to come back and down. Let your collarbones spread and your shoulders release. Arms by your sides, palms flipped up. Or flip down if that feels more intuitive to you. And then take a nice, long, slow, deep breath in. And sigh it out. One more nice, long, slow, deep breath in. And sigh it out. Just allow your eyes to gently float closed. Find stillness. Release any control of your breath and just allow it to be regular. Allow it to be whatever it is. Soften what needs to be softened. Relax what needs to be relaxed. Let your feet and ankles drop open. Soften your toes, the bottoms of your feet, your ankles. Soften your knees. Allow your thighs and your hips to sink into the mat. Allow your back body to soften. Let your belly be soft. Let your breath be easy in your chest. Just allow your shoulders to melt into the mat. Let your arms be heavy. Soften your fingers. Soften your throat. Release your jaw. Soften your forehead, your cheeks, your cheekbones. Just allow your eyes to sink heavy into their sockets. Let your temples drop. Let your head be heavy. Allow yourself to be completely supported by the earth underneath you. Slowly come back. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring gentle movement to your ankles and your wrists. Gently rock your head from side to side. And then when you're ready, slowly roll to one side and linger there for just a moment before pressing yourself up to a seated position. Again, placing one hand over your heart space and the other hand on top of that hand. Taking one more opportunity to notice and allow. Thanks so much for practicing with me. I hope that this practice serves you, and do it anytime that you are feeling the heaviness of grief and loss. I wish you well. I wish your loved ones well. Shanti. Namaste.